we go now.
If you are ready to live a life of abundance, if you are ready to best your best, then come to the edge. Because if you are not living your life on the edge, you are taking up far too much room.
Here we go now.
Welcome to The Edge. I'm your host, Eric Brown, and I'm here in studio with Discover Leadership Training's president, Mr. Mike Jones.
Hey, Eric, good to see you, man. Hey, thank y'all for coming back. We absolutely appreciate you. Truly hope that you are benefiting from this podcast. I mean, our focus, our point of existence is to help you create a better version of yourself. So whatever we can do, whatever dimes we can drop, whatever information we can share from the expertise that we have from doing this for over 30 years, we want to bring that value to you. Because I want you to know that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You're perfect just the way you are. There's nothing broken. You don't need to be fixed. But here's an awareness that I made a long time ago. And it is one that I remind myself of daily. Every last one of us. Oh, yes, that includes you. No matter how much paper you got on the wall from a university, no matter how accomplished you are, no matter how much money you've been able to put in the bank, every last one of us occupies the largest room in the house. That, my friend, is a room for improvement. So we're not looking for what's wrong or what's broken. We're not looking to dredge up some old negative things that have occurred in your life. This is really about moving forward. This is about taking a rearview mirror down. This is about recognizing that there is an opportunity for you to polish up your rough edges and become far more effective at everything that you are doing in your life. I mean, everything. So the possibility is there. We just ask that you show up and listen with the intent to be influenced. Because I absolutely guarantee you, in the many years that we've done this, we have seen thousands of people benefit from this powerful information. And now we're here just for you.
Yeah, and to those of you that already left comments, we appreciate those comments,
Absolutely.
y'all.
Yeah.
That helps us best our best, and we are 100% committed to taking this next level and ensuring that we deliver some smoking hot content for you. So continue to drop those comments. Let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling about these podcasts as they go. And to those of you that have already subscribed, great job. Thank you for the subscription. And those of you who have not, what is it that you're waiting for? Take the moment to go out there and subscribe, because we are committed to some smoking hot shit moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Mike, I know in the last episode you talked about in order to see something, I'm going to mess it up here, but in order to see something you've never seen, you have to look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah. So specifically, if you want the things that you are looking at to change,
That's it.
you got to change the way you're looking at it. There are so many different perspectives of the exact same thing. And when you make the choice to change your perspective, you increase your capacity, you increase your periphery, and you begin to see some things that you couldn't see before.
And speaking of that, I actually just got done reading this book, Change Your Mind, Change Your World, that is available at the On Purpose apparel store at Discover Leadership Training. And in the book, it actually starts to talk about the dash. Elaborate on that. Tell our listeners.
Yeah, and I just want to say this, though. If you really want to get a copy of this, it is available at discoverleadership.com. In the On Purpose apparel store. And I encourage you to get a copy. You know, a lot of times people say to me, Mike, I'm not a reader. I mean, I want you to look at this, okay? You can be done with this in a day. And the benefit that you're going to get from it is so incredibly positive that you will become a reader. Let's talk about how to become something that we're not, okay? And then I want to jump in here.
Okay.
By doing it again and again and again, and the more you do it and you receive a benefit from it, then you are more likely to do it again. So I'm encouraging you to go out to discoverleadership.com to the On Purpose Apparel store and get yourself a copy of Change Your Mind, Change Your World. So let's jump in here real quickly. Let me start off by saying this. The mind that got you to wherever you are today will not get you to a different place. Let me say that again. The mind that got you to where you are today will not get you to a next level. Now, let's be clear here. You've had some successes. That's awesome. Absolutely. I commend you. Congratulations. You've done some great things in your life. You have. You've overcome some stuff in your life. You've taken on some circumstances and challenges, and you've won. So all of those things were absolutely created by the mind, by the experiences that you have had up until now. In order to now get to a different place, in order to get to a better place, in order to best your best, you have got to recognize that the same mind that got you to the place you are right now will not get you to the next level.
Got it. So then what should we do in order to change our mind and, in fact, then change the world around us?
Yeah, and we just talked about that a little bit ago. The first thing is an awareness that I have different perspectives. And if I stay focused on the same perspective that I have right now, then I am going to continue to produce the same result. So let's talk a little science here, first of all.
Okay.
When you were growing up, when you were being taught by human beings, the things that they taught you, they were teaching you how to survive. As they were going through the process of teaching you these behaviors and these things that you now see as your truth, I'm going to come back to that, so hold on to that. As a result of that, you developed a lens that you are now viewing the world through. In fact, by the time you were 4 years old, 45% of that lens that you are presently viewing the world through was created. You've heard me say that before. It's important that we readdress it. By the time you were 18 years old, over 99% of the lens that you are viewing the world through was created. Now, this was the result of everything that you've learned from the people who taught you. This is the result. This lens is the result of all of the experiences that you've had in relation to the things that you've learned. In one of the episodes, we talked about the things that you have learned have become your BS. And y'all know what I mean by BS because you've read the book, Belief System. And because of your BS, you are making assessments of things through your lens, and you have created a truth. The awareness in this present moment is that your truth is not the truth. So if you want to change your mind in order to change your world, the first realization that you must make in this present moment is that my truth is not the truth. It's my truth. The people in my life, your significant other, your brothers and sisters, your mom, your dad, your friends, your other team members at work, they also have a truth. In so many ways, it does not align with your truth. They are not looking through your lens and through your filter. They are looking through theirs. Quite often, we focus on only seeing things from our perspective, and we think that everybody else is looking at it from the exact same perspective that we are. Got some news for you. They're not.
Yeah, I know the first chapter in here, you talk a lot about what they'll say about you when you're gone. And then there's a reference to a dash the time that you're born to the time that you're gone. Elaborate for our listeners. I mean, going back to the perspective and the choices that we make, how do we create this?
Yeah, it's very important to be aware that every choice that we make is another pin stroke in that story that answers the question that Eric just asked. What will they say about me? So let's just kind of back up and slow it down and take a look at that, first of all.
Okay.
So there are 86,400 seconds in every day. In every last one of them, we have an opportunity to display the greatest gift that any of us have ever received, and that is the gift of choice. I submit that in all 86,400 seconds of every day, you have a choice regarding the attitude that you will display, regarding the words that you will speak to other people, regarding the choices that you will make, regarding the things that are occurring in your life. Now, let's think about this for a moment. Let's say a circumstance happens, something negative occurs. How I respond to that is going to determine my reality. The circumstance or the negative occurrence is not going to determine my reality. Now, I got to say that again, because I know there's some folks shaking their heads, kind of going like, no, bro, you just don't understand. That wasn't on me. That was on, so fill in the blank. So let me just go back for a second. I'm going to submit, and I want to know if you agree. Leave some comments in the comment section. I want to know if you agree. I submit that one of the greatest gifts that I have, that you have, is the gift of choice. Now, first of all, when I understand that, then I am now understanding that with every choice that I am making, I am now placing another pin stroke in the story that is being written about me that's going to be told when I die. Now, think about every possible negative circumstance that you have ever experienced in your life. Recognize this. A circumstance is a circumstance is a circumstance. Oh, man, I know I just lost somebody on that one. But, Mike, you don't understand. What about when? No. Let me back it up now. A circumstance is a circumstance is a circumstance. My reality, no matter how positive or negative that circumstance is not the result of the circumstance. My reality is the result of the choice that I make regarding the circumstance. And yes, I am always that choice. So I'm going to say something now, and somebody's going to get mad at me, but I got to say it anyway. You have got to understand, in the context of this conversation, there are no victims. There are only volunteers. So if somebody takes advantage of you, for an example, it is because you made the choice to give up your power and allow that person to take advantage of you. They cannot take advantage of you without your permission to do so. Now, I know that just hit home with somebody, but I want you to recognize, as we talk about this dash, there's a day that you were born. There will be a day that you die. We are all going to die. The day that I was born is not important, and the day that I die is not important. What will be the most important thing on that tombstone is that little dash, because that dash is going to tell the story of how I lived my life, how I treated the people in my life, the attitude that I had in every situation and in every relationship, the words that I spoke to the people in my life. Did I build them up or did I tear them down? Did I have to be in control? Did I need to make people wrong for me to be right? What is the story that is being written by the choices that you are making? I want you to think about that, because it is so significant that you become aware in this present moment that your choices are writing that story and creating that dash.
Yeah, so if those choices are communicating what they will say about us when we're gone, then failure has to be somewhat of an option. Because if I'm afraid to fail and I'm not taking steps towards going after the things that I want in my life, personally or professionally, then I'm holding back.
Certainly. And you make a good point, Eric, because the awareness in this present moment is that if my lens has been created by being risk averse, then I am going to remain in my comfort zone. We talked about that because I'm afraid to fail. If my lens is of such that I am going to play it safe, then the perspective that I'm looking at the world, my relationships and everything that exists is from a play it safe perspective. As long as I am playing safe, as long as I'm making a choice to stay in my comfort zone, I am absolutely on the sidelines waiting to die. Now think about the story that's being written by somebody who's just sitting back, risk averse, waiting to die on the sidelines. First of all, that is going to be a really boring story. First of all, and second of all, it is absolutely not going to leave the legacy that allows somebody else in your life to want to emulate your example.
Yeah, so in some cases, though, it's easier said than actually doing the work. So what coaching or advice would you have for someone who maybe has gone for something and failed and then changed their approach and went for it again and failed? I mean, at what point do they say, hey, maybe this just isn't for me?
Yeah. And first of all, if you know that you are somebody who says that this is really going to be tough to do this, you know what? I acknowledge that it is. Okay. The more you do it, though, the less tough it is. So I'm encouraging you that whatever it is that you've gone for a few times and you failed at, recognize that failure in the context of this conversation is your gift. G-I-F-T. It is your gift. So now I know I sound insane, but let me clear that up for you, baby. When you are truly committed to get to a next level, when you are truly committed to improve that relationship with your significant other or your mom or your dad, when you're truly committed to improve the positivity in that friendship that you have, no matter how many times you fail, you have got to recognize that you now have a different perspective to look at that particular situation. You now have a different inflection point. You now have authenticated every time you change your approach and you go at it again, that you are truly committed. That's the way to build muscle around persevering, about focusing on a positive outcome. Because unless you fall down a couple of times, you will never truly be able to authenticate that you are positive or that you are focused or that you are bold or that you're a perseverer. Those things will become absolutely authenticated once the failure occurs. So stop running away from failure. Embrace failure. Failure is a part of the process if you truly want to create a legacy and a story that is absolutely going to be worth telling. Because you're going to have to fall down sometimes, recognizing that winners lose more often than losers lose. Now, I know somebody missed that, so let me go back there again. You got to understand this. Winners lose more often than losers lose. So if you happen to fall down, celebrate that. Get up, dust yourself off, and as Eric said a moment ago, change your approach before you re-execute. Because if you keep doing the same old thing over and over and over again, it is predictable that you'll continue to fail. So change something about the approach before you re-execute and get a different inflection point.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. On the Edge with Mike Jones. And we're going to be dropping some more smoking hot shit every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central. So join us and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen.
So come on out here, baby. Come to the edge. Because you know this. If you are not living your life on the edge, you are taking a far too much risk.
Here we go now.